in the league. The most unstoppable player in the league may get 50 points tonight. That's James Harden.
He has had 47 free throws in the past 4 games, though, so he is finding a way to get to the free throw line.
CB, what are you doing with Joel Embiid down low?
Trust the process.
I like it. From that same game, by the way.
Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, he's in the conversation, but he's not the most unstoppable.
Marcus Smart in that same game, by the way, got ejected for pushing Joel Embiid and has been fined $50,000. We didn't get to comment on this because we never got on yesterday. Jalen, what'd you make of all this?
I appreciate the league for reacting swiftly with a fine. I think that number is just. I just felt like if each team's fine money went to the local community and at the end of the year you see the video of yourself acting out, it'll make the player look at it different, it'll make the community look at it different, and you present a big check and give it back to the Philadelphia community where this act took place.
Maybe we'll work on that after the season. In the meantime, to college basketball as we get up and go. John Calipari says his guess is P.J. Washington will not play Saturday for Kentucky against Wofford. Jay Will, for those who don't know that, how big a loss is he?
That's a major loss. He is their best player. He's been a guy that's really grown into being the signature player for them down low. Now, the crazy thing is that they took him out of a walking boot and they put him in a real cast. You put somebody in a real cast, that gives me the interpretation that there's a little bit more there than what you're alluding to. I'm a little bit concerned.
He tried to downplay the significance of the cast. Calipari did, but I agree with you. Everyone seems
also,
to have
Jay Will
reacted.
picked Kentucky to win the whole thing, so that's why he's really concerned.
Yes, I am.
It made him nervous. And then to the other Phillies team, and that's Bryce Harper. He hit 2 home runs in a spring training game on Thursday. Rutledge, what does he look like in the middle of that Phillies lineup?
So he looks great, and obviously it's good to see him get the power going. But the one thing that I liked a lot is the fact that there was actually a foul ball that he hit before the second home run. That thing was a rocket shot, and the exit velocity on these home runs makes you feel really good about where Bryce Harper is at this point. He is going to be dominant.
$500 million? $500 million.
$500 million.
Well, Mike Trout got
Gonna have
paid
to hit
a lot
a few
more.
out of the ballpark. And getting up and going here, we'll get to some football with you as well, because Le'Veon Bell, we all know, signed that huge free agent deal with the Jets last week after not playing at all in 2018 with the Steelers. And then he did this interview with Sports Illustrated, and he opened up about his former quarterback, Ben Roethlisberger. There's been so much conversation about whether or not Roethlisberger was part of the problem with AB. And how about with Le'Veon? Here's what Le'Veon, you're still a teammate at the end of the day. You're not Kevin Colbert. You're not Art Rooney. Ben wants to win, but Ben wants to win his way, and that's tough to play with. Ben won a Super Bowl, but he won when he was younger. Now he's at the stage where he tries to control everything, and the team let him get there. So there are more critical words from a former Steeler. Now a current Steeler, Marquise Pouncey, went to Instagram to defend Ben Roethlisberger. Said, I've been with Ben going on 10 years. I swear on my kids, he is a true leader. Sucks to see players who are leaving are mad at the organization now try and point fingers like they are perfect. But this is the world we live in now. I have been waiting for someone to stand up for Ben in Pittsburgh. It has finally happened. Let me bring D. Wood into the conversation, the one, the only, Damian Woody. What are your thoughts on all of this with Le'Veon gone and taking shots, AB gone and taking shots, Pouncey defending Ben Roethlisberger? What's your take, D. Wood?
Well, I just feel like it's all a mess. Why are we still having these type of conversations? You know, you're talking about Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell. Listen, fellas, you're with your respective new teams. You're with your respective teams. Why are you sitting here dwelling on the past? You should be focused on the teams that you're with. To be sitting here taking shots at Ben and all those type of things, I just don't understand. I get it. Ben's leadership style might not be the best, considering all the comments that we've heard out of Pittsburgh. But if you're those guys, you should be looking forward, not backwards.
Do you believe the problems are gone, however? Do you think everything now will be okay in that locker room, particularly with AB gone?
No, I don't think everything is done. I think Big Ben, with all these comments, I think he does need to have some self-reflection to see maybe what could I have done better, moving forward to become a better leader. I mean, we've heard, Ryan Clark say that, as well. So I think Big Ben needs to do that. But as far as the Pittsburgh Steelers organization, look, I mean, if you're willing to swallow a $21 million salary, cap hit and to get rid of a guy, that just tells you a lot about what they think of that player and Antonio Brown. And I think this is part of the process of moving forward as an organization.
Now, you saw Hembo put up on the screen. Those 3 guys together, as great as they were, only won 2 playoff games. together. Let me move to another team yesterday and another move that's been made, and that is the Raiders bringing in Vontaze Burfict. They signed him to a contract, and so he and Antonio Brown, there's a significant history there between those two guys. But yesterday, AB went on Instagram and wrote, "It's funny how the NFL will make you a villain with your own teammate now, create a war within a war when basically we're all on the same team. Encourage your brother, do not beat them down or create a war amongst them. We're already fighting enough wars." So these guys have a history. He's trying to make it sound like everything will be fine. Do you, Damian Woody, believe everything will be fine?
Yeah, I do, because, listen, at the end of the day, you ask most players, once you become teammates, the past is the past. I mean, when I played, a guy by the name of Rodney Harrison was vilified amongst a lot of players, but once he became a teammate, he was one of the best guys you could have around. So those guys will be fine, and obviously Vontaze Burfict is there to help instill a culture on the defensive side of the football. So the past is the past between those two guys.
Here's the thing that I wonder about, though, because we're talking about this play, which comes in a playoff game. By the way, it cost Cincinnati a playoff game, and it is a blatantly dirty hit that hurt Antonio Brown. He missed their following playoff game because of a concussion. Something has to be worked out between the two of them before they can go forward. Yes, it's not just like everything is immediately going to be fine.
Well, I'm sure those guys have had a conversation. You know, when the Raiders acquired Vontaze Burfict, I'm pretty sure that Antonio Brown or the Raiders organization put those guys together to have a conversation moving forward. But I think overall, those guys are going to put that thing behind them because ultimately it's in the best interest to get on the same page to try to win football games. There's no need of dwelling about what happened in the past. Can't do anything about that.
I get it. But then as we look to the future, if they're winning, okay. But how about if things start to fall apart a little bit? Does that create a potential issue?
I don't, because, listen, again, that situation that happened with Pittsburgh and Cincinnati, that's not going to play into anything that's happened with the Oakland Raiders. If they're losing, it's because of things that's going on with the Oakland Raiders, and that prior relationship is not going to factor in to what's happening with Oakland.
He put together a very interesting locker room, didn't he there, John? He brought in, after a year where they seemed to let everybody go, now they brought in a lot. That works out. Damian Woody, thank you very much. Have a wonderful weekend, and we will check in with you again soon. In the meantime, we are just getting started. Kobe is coming. Part 2 of the interview with Kobe Bryant. We will hear some of the most interesting things that Kobe said, including one thing that has not yet aired anywhere. That's on the way with Kobe Bryant coming up in just a few minutes. And then, of course, Duke and Zion, the heavy favorites.